Welcome to my next playthrough series. Yes, this time we're doing Maximum Apocalypse. We're going to be doing Mission 0. I haven't played this game before, and I've gone over the rules, and I've done a play of this just to see how everything works. It's a pretty cool little game. It's basically, we have a zombie apocalypse, we have a robot apocalypse, we have a mutant apocalypse, and we have an alien apocalypse that come in the base game. The base second edition game, I should say. I don't have the first edition, this is the second. There's also a legendary edition, which I think brings in all of the other expansions. There's Wasted Wilds, and there's the Gothic Horror as well. So how this works, we're going to be taking a look at the mission log here. So we're doing basically the first mission, which is the tutorial mission. We'll see how everything works. It says the sirens are only warning you. Had everything went to hell, you were lucky enough to be close to a shopping mall and barricaded yourself inside. But now your food is gone and help is not coming. You have to figure out what happened out there and find a way out. You decide to climb up the mall's roof amongst all the chaos in the street and the destroyed cars. You're able to spot a van in the distance. It looks to be in good condition. Without food, your only choice is to venture outside and try to make it to that van. So the mission setup, we're not going to be playing with the bosses in this one. There's 2 bosses per apocalypse. We're going to be playing with zombies, the zombie deck. As it tells you here, place a shopping mall on a tile. So this is how things are arranged. You've just seen that. Place a van tile face up on the other side of the map. It's over here. So we have our map set up. Now it tells you which one of these tiles to use. There's sort of 14, I guess, more basic tiles. There's a whole bunch more in the actual game. And it tells you right here, this is the Maximum Apocalypse campaign. These are the tiles to set up. So we got a bandit camp. We got a city street. Couple of farms, a forest, a gas station, hospital, open field, police station, river, 2 shelters, a shopping mall, and the van. So there we go. And it says here, our mission objective is to collect and deliver 1 fuel per player to the van. We're going to be doing complete solo play and return all players to the van when all other objectives have been completed. So there we go. That's what we're doing. So we'll just zoom down here on this tile, take a little bit of a look at it, explain how that works, and I'll talk about the 3 decks. These are scavenge decks. So we have a red scavenge deck, a green scavenge deck, a blue scavenge deck, and as you can see here, this has a blue circle with a magnifying glass on it. That means we can scavenge here for blue cards. And you can only do that once per turn. So let's take a little bit closer look at that tile. Alright, so the anatomy of a tile. In the upper right corner is this little monster deck. So here's our zombie monster deck. There's a whole pile in there. The bosses have been removed out of it, so we won't be encountering those. We're going to be rolling 2 dice during the spawning monster phase. If we roll an 8, this is going to get a monster. If we happen to be on the tile, when we roll it, the monster will eventually just show up there. If not, we will be putting one of these little monster tokens on it. And if we go into it in the future, we can either try to sneak it, or we will encounter it if we want to. Or if we fail our sneak, we're going to encounter it. There's usually some text here on the board. This one is reveal free scavenge. Well, you don't do that because it's already, tile's already revealed. That's where we're starting. And it's the blue scavenge area. So that's kind of the anatomy of a tile. Now I'm going to be playing solo with the Gunslinger, so let's take a look at him and how he works. Alright, so here we have the Gunslinger, and they have a deck of 30 cards. Now these get shuffled up at the beginning of the play turn. Well, not the play turn, the beginning of the game, basically. So he's got 30 cards. There's a bunch of duplicates in there. You'll see how they work. So if we take a look at the Gunslinger, and this is our hunger die. I'll explain how the hunger works as we play along. So basically our Gunslinger has 28 health, which sounds like a lot until you get attacked by a bunch of things. We have a sneak value of 7. I'll explain how that works as we play the game. And he has a passive quick draw ability here. This will all focus nicely. It says you start with your Colt pistol equipped. When you starve, shuffle it into your deck. Well, how you starve is if this is your starving die is at 5 and you need to increase your hunger, it will go to 6 and you start starving and you flip your card over. It's to the gray area. You lose your ability as well, and your sneak goes down a bit. Health stays the same, and you start taking damage. 2 on the first time you don't have any food, then 4, then 6, then 8, and then starve to death. So that's kind of how that works. We'll see. We start at 1, can never go below 1. And there we have it. So here's our Colt pistol, and it's got 4 ammunition on it. And we start with this one, and in the upper left corner here's a little backpack symbol. That's the weight you can carry it. The little number here tells you how many ammo come on the thing. So it's a mid-range action, deal 2 damage to a target. So our Gunslinger here starts with that, with the 4 ammunition tokens on it. And you're like, well, what's mid-range mean? Well, we have this handy little card to tell us. So short range is the square that you're on. Mid-range is orthogonally the tile you're on plus the 4 around. And long range is this, not the tile you're on and all the green. For true solo, anything that's a long-range weapon in the true solo game, which we're playing, just becomes a mid-range. Weapon, and it does half damage as well. So got to keep that in mind. And we have our little life tracker here, which I'm going to show you. Pretty funky. Every character of the 6 of them that come with the game has their own life tracker. Let's take a look at a turn round, and then I think we might actually have a turn or 2. I'll show you how the game works. Oh, and we do need to draw a hand of 4 cards to start with. I guess we'll do that right now. So we'll give this another shuffle. We'll drop our 4 cards. We'll see what we get. So 2, 3, 4. And we do have something called a mulligan, the very first hand. We can dump as many cards as we want and then do something else. Oh, cool. Oh, we got a whole bunch of different things. So we have tactical leadership. These lightning bolts mean that you can play them as an action. And if it has a backpack symbol, you have to use an action to equip it. So that's how that works. So we have tactical leadership. Select another player to take an action right now. Well, you can use it on yourself. Kind of not too useful in a solo game. Grenade, mid-range, deal 1 target 3 damage, and up to 3 other targets on the same tile 2 damage. Wow. We have our horse. Action, move up to 2 spaces, discard, reduce hunger by all players by 1, because I guess you can chew on your horse. And hollow points. Place on a weapon. That weapon is fully loaded, reloaded, and does 2 extra damage until the ammo is expended. Reloading this weapon destroys this card. Cool. So we got a pretty good starting hand. We don't have a hand limit per se, but if this deck ever runs out and we don't have anything in there, and we come to the turn where we have to draw a card, yeah, we lose. So there we go. So that's our hand. Now let's take a look at how the game works. Alright, so on a little handy dance, so on the back of the reference card is range as explained, but we have a turn reference. So the very first thing we're going to do is roll 2 dice, spawn monsters, as I explained with the numbers on the, so we have a 6 for our van that we're trying to get to, and an 8 on the shopping mall. Then we draw 1 card, so we have to draw 1 card from our deck, so it happens every turn. Then we can take 4 actions, and you can do the same action twice, except for scavenge. You can only scavenge the location you're on once per turn, so that's it. So we can move a space, draw a card, play a card, take a card action, because some cards have action on them. Like his Colt pistol, an action is deal 2 damage. And then we have free actions. We can discard 2 cards to draw a card. We can trade scav, well, we'll be trading with anyone, playing solo. And fueling up the van, dropping off cards at the objective is a free action. So if we can get over to the van with 1 fuel it up, we're good to go. And then we increase hunger. That's where our die is going to keep ratcheting up. And there's food that we can find in the game, which will, of course, help us eat so we won't starve to death. And the end is take damage. Well, how does that work? Well, if we have an enemy with us, zombies in this case, they will try to do damage to us at the end of every turn. And they follow you around. So if we had a zombie here that we found and it starts following us whenever we move somewhere, it's going to just hang around us until we get rid of it. Alright, I think with that sort of done, let's actually have a first turn of the game, and we'll see how that works. Alright, let's spawn some zombies, perhaps. Roll the 2 dice that gives you with the game, and let's see what we get. And we get a 7. If we look at a 7, I don't think we have any on the board. Alright, so looking at the board, we have an 8, and we have a 6. So no monsters / zombies in this particular scenario are going to spawn. Alright, now we can take, oh no, now it's draw a card, not take action. So we draw a card off the top of our shuffle deck, and we get another horse. Move up to 2 spaces. And moving up to 2 spaces can be dangerous because we don't know what's out here. We're looking for gas. And so with that in mind, I should say the red deck is where you're most likely to find fuel, the green deck is where you're most likely to find food, and the blue deck is where you're most likely to find gear, things like guns, ammunition, vests, hats, all kinds of things that you're going to need in the apocalypse to survive. All right, so what do we have here? You know, I think we're going to go for one action, and we're going to put hollow points onto our weapon. It's already, or do we want to do that? I think we might not. Let me think about this, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with our 4 actions. Yeah, you know, I think for our very first action, we're going to start moving. Let's do a move action. So we're going to move from this location. We're going to go right here. And yes, it's orthogonal movement. You cannot go diagonally. So let's go orthogonally here. And which tile do we run into? We get to the farm. 11. Oh, reveal a free scavenge. Well, that's pretty cool. It says we do exactly what it says. So we get a free scavenge, and it's a green card. I don't know why my voice is going. It's getting annoying. A free card. So I guess we'll give this a shuffle. So our green deck. Whoa, throwing cards on the floor. Perfect. Perfect way to start. All right, let's shuffle the green deck, and let's figure out what we're gonna find. All right, green deck shuffled. Free scavenge. So this does not count towards our 1 scavenge we can do. So free scavenge. I guess I could have scavenged on blue to start with. I didn't. We get ammunition, short range. Add 2 bullets to any equipped weapon. Cool. So that goes in our hand. I should say we don't have an unlimited hand limit. We have a hand limit of 10 cards. 10 cards of this, of our deck, an unlimited number of these search cards. I misspoke there. Yes, we have a hand limit of 10. All right, that was our second action. That was a free action. So we can do another action. So let's scavenge again. This is our second action. And we get food. Reduce the player's hunger by 2. Awesome. All right, we have 2 actions remaining, and let me figure out what we want to do with those. All right, for our 2 remaining actions, I know we need to eventually get over to the van. We're pretty much loaded for bear with our Colt pistol and our ammunition and our hollow points and everything. I think we're going to backtrack over to here, because you can move back and forth. And once the card's flipped over, you don't do the whatever's in the green text anymore. It's just, it happens basically when you explore the location. And so we're back to the shopping mall. We went to the farm, got some food, found some ammunition, and now we go back to the shopping mall. The third action, our 4th action, let's do a scavenge on the blue deck and see if we can find maybe some gear or something cool for us to use in this apocalyptic wasteland. All right, what do we get for blue? We have scavenged fuel. That's exactly what we need. Now, this is the introductory scenario. So there you go. Now, as you can see, it's got a backpack value of 1. Oh, which I haven't mentioned. We can carry 6 worth of weight of these little backpack symbols. For the true solo game, it's 4 in the co-op, but we can carry 6 because we're by ourselves. All right, that is going to be it for our turn. So let's take a look next in turn order. We've done our 4 actions. We've done any free actions. We need to increase the hunger. Yeah, we're getting hungry. All right, and this is a simple phase. We're just going to go from 1 to 2. So our hunger level's at 2. Not a big deal. We do have some food as well, so that's not an issue. And now, if we had any enemies attached to us, the end of the turn would be taking damage. And I think we're going to leave it off there. We've got 5 cards in our hand that come from our deck and 3 scavenge cards. So we're well within our hand limit of 10 cards. And away we go. So I'm going to zoom out. We're going to wrap up our episode for today. Oh, and one little thing to keep track of. Of course, I just breezed right by this card. Equip immediately as a free action or discard. So we're going to equip it immediately. It only weighs 1. We can have a carry limit of 6. So I'm just going to equip it. So we've got our Colt pistol equipped, our fuel equipped. Okay, now we'll wrap up our episode for today. Alright, well that's going to wrap up our episode for today. So we started out in the shopping mall. We were all hunkered down. We thought, you know what, we better get moving. We see a van from the roof. We want to get over there. We already collected 1 fuel, which is awesome. So there we go. That's good to know. And yeah, so we got to get over there. This is the introductory. So we'll probably be doing another scenario, maybe right after this, so you can see a little bit more complexity to the game. So thanks so much for watching. A lot of thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is Maximum Apocalypse, 2nd edition, I think, which is the same as Legendary, except Legendary is a big box that comes with all 3 sort of base games. This is just the original, the first base game from Rock Manor Games, and it's the 2nd edition, which is cool. It comes with miniatures. I think the 1st edition came with standees, and there's a couple of other little differences here. I think this edition comes with the little pinwheel things for health. 1st edition didn't, etc. But I think it's pretty much exactly the same game. Anyway, thanks so much. Hope to see you tomorrow. Continuation, Maximum Apocalypse. We are doing the very first mission. I don't even know if it has a name. It has a name, tutorial. There you go. Thanks so much. I hope to see you then.